Whoops. That jumped. Okay, this will be a very funny one we're going to make. Going to turn it into a dual colour job. It's an interesting one. It's a funny one. It's very apt. Okay, right. Going to start with black and red for this. We'll see if I can make it. It's a business card, so it should fit into a very simple enlargement that I've used probably so many times, if I remember correctly. So I think it's going to be 360 or 300. I think it's 340 for there. We'll soon find out. We'll see if we can make this look really interesting. Even though it's something that pisses me off, that I have a bit of a joke about. It's always a fucking butt of my jokes. It's the butt of my jokes. It's meant to be really funny. For me it's funny, even though it's annoying. It's fucking annoying. It's stupid. We're going to see what this fucking annoying and stupid thing is. It is Konica Minolta. Okay, this is a business card from Konica Minolta. We turn over. BizHub, change the way you do business. I think I picked this up from Melbourne. I think it was either in 2013 or 2014, so it's pretty old. So we're just going to photocopy this side of it. We're going to change the logo from that Konica Minolta blue to red. So we're going to have a bit of fun with this because Konica Minolta are fucking assholes. And we'll soon have a bit of joke. I mean, who gives a shit? Konica Minolta this machine's made so many noises instead of sounding smooth and efficient, even though it hasn't hardly seen that many copies compared to what it's supposed to. But anyway, we cut it off there, and yeah, I'm just got to enlarge it more on the vertical and less on the horizontal. But that looks interesting. The logo turning red. Anyway, we're just going to concentrate on having a bit of fun with this, have a bit of a joke. I'm actually thinking 360 should be, I think I've forgotten, on the horizontal and on the vertical it should be 300 and going 390 on the vertical and see what happens. But, you know, this company is a really big multinational and they make a lot of money, and they couldn't give a fuck about people like me who don't have much money. And basically I had to get this machine as a replacement for my old Stalwart machine, the C353, which I think is better than this fucking piece of shit. But anyway, that looks interesting. That's the red. That looks like we've got it pretty well printed out properly. It's not perfect, but I think it's good enough like that. But basically the company it's got too much focus on money rather than the love of the equipment and trying to get a good piece of shit to make a good photocopier. That they just make shit. They just care about money, and you can tell. I tend to have a lot of rants about Konica Minolta because they just, I mean, the old C353 was only roughly 8 years old, if I'm correct, because it was an old, what they call an info line machine. It had a really nice user interface compared to what we've got here with this dumbass piece. So I do prefer the old equipment better. And I bought it as a refurbished, or leased it rather, as a refurbished machine. So basically it was not new, it was refurbished. So I got it. But then earlier this year in February, the machine finally kicked the bucket, and when I called up Mytronics, they couldn't service it because basically the spare parts, the service agreement was void because the Konica Minolta, of course, didn't supply spare parts. Obviously they didn't. Mytronics didn't say that, but they did tell me that the machines only have a lifespan of about 5 years, serviceable lifespan in so many words, and that this is normal. So that's explained to me why for quite a few years why people were turning over their photocopiers every 3 years. I wondered why they were doing that when these things can last 10 years. Well, I thought they lasted 10 years or 7 years, but as it turned out, they last only 5 years, which is really, really not acceptable in my books. I mean, I could have saved myself some money if I had have been able to stick with my old machine. And the old machine was still working quite well. It had some noise problems, but it was an old fucking machine. You got to expect that, but not from a new one. This new machine actually makes a lot of squeaks and groans and all sorts of sounds that mechanical sounds that don't sound right. And I can pick it up easily when the machine's not functioning at its best. And it's done less than 10,000 copies. And 10,000 copies, I should have done 70,000 copies as the usual duty cycle. And already it's sounding like an old fucking rough-running machine. So I'm not happy with Konica Minolta. That looks like a really nice take on their business card. It's not perfect. I could have probably made it a bit smaller on the horizontal and shit. But hey, it's just about stupid Konica Minolta. You can't expect perfection. They don't give us any fucking good work. So they go fuck themselves. Konica, fuck you. And Shoei Yamada, go fuck yourself. You think you're fucking big time CEO sitting in Tokyo in Japan, selling it, approving this shit from the R&D team? Go on, Shoei. Fucking go fuck yourself. Get lost.